Good morning, good day, good evening. This is YieldMaxMindset coming to you, if I have this correct, year 2, week 1 of my Robinhood portfolio review. It has been 1 year, if I'm not mistaken, if I have my dates correct. September the 2nd of last year, I believe it, or September the 1st of last year is when I dropped my first YouTube video. So if you hadn't seen it, go check that first video out if you would like to, just to see the progress for where I am now. All right, so in this week, we're going to briefly go over my Robinhood portfolio that had our dividend payout for this past week for Group A, and we will hit our Charles Schwab account next. Then we will proceed with our crypto update, and then we will hit our Excel spreadsheet. And from there, we got our Divvy tracker and Snowball analysis. And in my Snowball analysis, I had to do some correction. I had to clean up some stuff that was inaccurate. Most of the dividends, that was correct, but the I think it was my profit and loss and my current investment value in that showing in my Snowball Analytics account. So that wasn't my intent to do that before I was doing this video, but that ended up being something that I did. So it took me a few hours to go there and clean up some old data that was some stuff that I had done years and years ago that was still somehow got uploaded into that account. So I had to go clean it because I didn't ever know why it was always off. Because I think when I first started, like it was fine, then all of a sudden it got corrupt. All right, so we'll do that, and then we'll conclude with our Q&A. All right, let's get started. All right, let's get this out of my way so I can see. All right. So you can see here we're currently at showing $48,576 invested. All right, so live we're up $12.20. For the week, we are down $2,376. For the past month, we're down $14,577. For the past 3 months, we're up $369. Year to date, we are down $860. For the past year, we're up $31,738. And all time, we're up $14,492. All right. All right. So as you can see here, my buying power is at $1,727, $1,726. And according to my margin status, I am at high risk for a margin call. Don't have a margin call, but I'm at high risk. All right. All right, so let's look at this. So my total margin is 115,631. I think last week or when I did a portfolio review, I don't know if it was a short or it was this time last year. I believe it was, I mean, not last year. This time last week, I believe it was showing 129,000. So that's just how much value we've lost in our account, right? All right. So my total margin stands at 104. Total margin used stands at $113,903. All right. All right. So you can see here it says high risk margin status is high risk. It says deposit at least $13,700 or close positions to reduce your risk of margin call. Now, let's see here. All right, so it shows my buffer at $888, right? So this amount right here, margin available. So this is where we were at Friday when the market closed. It was up, then all of a sudden it went down, right? So generally, my past experience with this is, as long as I'm not in a margin call, I'm good. It can be at high risk, but as long as I don't get margin call. Then if I get margin call, then I got one more day to get that cleared up before they take their initiative to try to correct that, right? So if the market opens or closes, well, if the market closes tomorrow and I'm up, then I'm not at high risk anymore, but we'll see. All right. So once again, if you got gold membership, the first $1,000, if you're using a margin account, if you're not using a margin account, then this doesn't apply. The first $1,000 is interest free. If you have less than 50K, your interest rate will be 5.75%. If you're between 50K and 100K, that's 5.55%. And if you over 100K to a million, you're at 5.25, which you can see my account is highlighted here, saying that I'm over 100K in my Robinhood account. But you only see the 48 that's showing investing. I don't know why. I could show you the other, but then it would show my personal information to actually show you that amount. So it works better when I show you on the short screen where I can actually show you that. All right, so let's get back. All right, so let's hit our three biggest account, and then we're going to hit the accounts we got paid dividends out from Group A last week. All right, first up is our Dogecoin crypto. As you can see, is at 23 cents. Our average cost for that is right at 19 cents. So we're up $316 for 7,516 shares. Now, a while ago, I did have 10,000 shares back around April. I think I sold some of that off when I was getting margin call. All right. Next, we have Coney. Closed yesterday or overnight right now at $6.80. Our market value is at $78,880, and we're down $46,120 for an average cost of $10.78 for 11,600 shares. All right. So the margin maintenance is 30%. Margin requirement is at 23,000. Our buying power is at 1,400. All right. Next up is OT. OT is at $5.49 right now. Our market value is $8,235. We're down $2,357 for an average cost of $7.06 for 1,500 shares. Margin ratio is at 25%. Maintenance requirement, meaning you have to maintain this value in this account before you get margin call for this account or have to deposit money. All right, is at 2,000 and buying power is at 1,700. All right, our first dividend for this past week is YieldMax. Currently is at $12.54. Our market value is at $626, and we're down $152 for an average cost of $15.59 for 50 shares. All right, let's see what our dividend pay was. All right, for 50 shares, we got $10. I mean, not $10. For 50 shares, the amount per share was 0.1094. So that gave us $5.47. All right, next was Misty. Not Misty, excuse me. I had this out of order. Misty should have been over here for one of our big positions. Sorry about that. All right, so Misty's at 1530. Our market value is at $15,300. We're down $10,396.85 for an average cost of $25.70 for 1,000 shares. All right, now I'm picking up where we left off. Tesla. Tesla is at $7.81. Our market value is at $1,405. We're down $705 for an average cost is $11.73 for 180 shares. All right, let's take a look at our dividend payout. All right, so I had 180 shares for 39 cents per share for a payout of $70.67. All right, next we got YieldMax. Check here, make sure I got all the dividends that I said we had. Yep. YieldMax was the last one in this Robinhood account. All right, so $9.75 is where YieldMax is. Our market value is at $604. We're down $271 for an average cost of $14.13 for 62 shares. Our dividend payout, we had 62 shares for 28 cents, gave us amount of $17.16 as a payout. All right. Next, we're looking at my Charles Schwab account. All right. So this past week we had our payout for Round Hill HOOW. Paid out on the 3rd, and we got $5.88. We had Round Hill PLTW. Got paid $3.60. And we had Yeeth Round Hill. We got paid $5.15. And then we had Ulti of YieldMax that gave us $1.95, and that was reinvested. That had drip and was reinvested. All right. So in our cash only account, no margin here, just cash only. Our account value is at $3,712. We're down $380 in this account. Our cost basis is $4,092, and our market value is at $3,711.78, and we have $1.04 in cash, which gives an account value of $3,712. All right. So here, our Coney position, we have 32 shares. We're down, let's see here. We're down, that's a day 2%. I was trying to see if they give the overall. Yeah, right here. I'm going to say we're down 15% in our Coney position. All right, we have Cavano, 6 shares. We're up 3.21% in that position. We have our Robinhood. Not Robinhood. Yes, it is Robinhood, but it's by Round Hill, HOOW. We have 7 shares, and we are, let's see, percentage. Oh, that's dollar amount. That's percentage. All right, so we're up $8, and we're up 1.8%. There we go. All right, next we got Bitwise ICOC, 15 shares. We are down $38.60. $38.60. $38.66. All right, for 6.7%. Come on, get it right. All right, next we have Morrow. We have 28 shares. We're down $106 for a negative 17%. Next we have Murney, 8 shares. We are down $3.01 for a negative 17%. Next we have Misty for 22 shares. We're down $146 for a negative 30%. And we have Round Hill PLTW, which is their Platir or Palantir. We're down $20.48 for a negative 4.2%. Next, we have YieldMax Palantir. We are down $25.74 for a negative 7.9%. Next, we have SMCY. We have 17 shares. We're down $44.83 for a negative 15.4%. Next, we have Ulti. We're down $13.27 for a negative 9.54. And we conclude with Yeeth of Round Hill. We're up $42.63. We're up 17.5%. Overall, we're down $380, and we're down overall in this account 9.3%. All right. All right, let's take a quick look at our crypto. All right, let's hit refresh here, see what's going on out here. All right, so you can see Bitcoin is at 110,000. It's up 3% in the last 7 days. Ethereum is at 4,200. It's down 2.1% in the last 7 days. All right, let's take a look at my biggest position. All right, Chronos. It's my biggest position. All right, so you can see is at, get my cursor out of the way here, is at 26 cents. So it's up 58.22%. All right. I have 299,937 tokens. And excuse me, my balance is 78,700, $78,075. All right. We have profit in this account, in my Chronos position of right now at $54,474. That's $54,474 in the positive. So we have that sitting there. It was as low as 30,000, and it has been when the other week when I had a business transaction with um, President Trump and his media company. So it went up to 38, 37 cents. And so my profit at that time was around 80,000. And that was in 2 days. Boom. All right. All right. So this is a crypto.com roadmap. If some of you all hadn't seen this, this is showing what they were doing in the fourth quarter, the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter of 2025. So you can see here all the green check marks here are things that they have actually implemented, and those that are still shaded gray are things that they're waiting to implement. So some of these should be coming on this third quarter, because I think we're getting ahead into the fourth quarter here shortly. I don't know when that quarter begins and ends, but they're going to have crypto.com stablecoin, AI powered trading tools, Chronos One. I'm not sure what that is. You can see they do have stocks and ETF trading. You can actually trade and buy stocks on crypto.com now. They have sport trading. I think that's sports betting. They're going to implement stock options. You can see here. And then later on, they're going to do FX commodities. I believe that's futures, derivatives. And then they're going to have banking, personal multi-currency account, yield on cash. I think that's actually implemented on the credit cards. And then here they got 1 second, 1 cent global transaction. I think this may be their version of their blockchain. So like XRP supposed to be for transferring crypto. Then they got the credit cards. They have the debit card expansion for Latin America and the Middle East and Africa. And they do have the credit cards. And I think they got the Prime card already implemented, even though it doesn't show its check here, right? All right, so now let's go to our Excel spreadsheet. All right, so for the month of September, we've gotten paid $1,929.97. So that gives us an annual total of $37,638. And we paid tithes out of that, out our active pay of $3,736. All right. So our passive income last month concluded with, for the month of August concluded with $10,400 $406.23. All right, so for the month of September, which was Group A, which is our weakest group, we have $244.88, bringing our annual passive income to $65,837.51. All right, so we combine our active income and our passive income. That gives me a total of $103,476. Our active income averaging month to date, year to date, sits at 4182. Our passive income year to date average is $7,315. Alrighty, our prior margin balance was at $114,162. It now sits at $113,908. All right. So our Robinhood Gold is at $40. Our Robinhood interest is at $2,544. All right. So the last two interests, the prior one was $400, and I think this last one was $500. Other than that, we have been averaging about a couple $100 a month. But since we're at over 100,000, we're paying between $400 and $500 a month now for the last 2 months. All right, so over the past 8 months, or I should say 9 months, here. All right, we're averaging $282.73 over the course of the past 9 months on Robinhood margin interest. All right, our 401k balance now sits at $22,270. All right, so our total debt combined now sits at $312,833, down from $313,019. All right. All right, let's see here. So our interest, once again, the first 6 months was at $13,279. Our interest going towards the second half of the year is at $6,922 for a grand total of $20,202. Our Robinhood account deposits thus far for this year, in January 600, February is over 1,000, and we ended August and beginning September. If you have a Robinhood account, they have what they call Hood Month. And when you select Hood and not make a regular deposit, it puts you whatever the dollar amount. I guess each dollar represent a entry. So I've been depositing $5.04 for the probably almost a week now. So I concluded with August, $25.20, and so forth for the month of September. I've deposited $15.12. So that brings our annual deposit for Robinhood account at $1,725. Now, our withdrawals from our Robinhood account. In February, we withdrew over $2,700, and in July, we withdrew $6,000 to pay this amount off on this credit card, and then we withdrew $2,000 last month from our Robinhood account because our we needed the money to help pay some bills. Yep, that's right. All right, so that brings our withdrawal from Robinhood account at $10,748. All right. So here, our total positions, which not total position, but Coney total cost based on my estimation is at $126,207. We've gotten paid $58,371, and we are $67,835 away from breaking even. All right, for my Misty account, We have a cost basis of $26,142. We have received dividends totaling $21,773. We are $4,368 away from breaking even and having house money with Misty. All right. All right. So that concludes my Excel spreadsheet. Let's see what's next. Next, we have this here. So this week, we're looking forward to Group B, which consists of these ETFs. And for me, that's going to be Morrow, Murney, and Platy as my monthly pairs for Group B. And my weekly pairs are going to consist of OT and YieldMax, right? So those are going to be what I'm going to get paid out. I believe that's 5 positions, right? Morrow, Murney, Platy, and YieldMax. Of course, with Round Hill, we go back to our Charles Schwab account. We got Hui. I'm going to call it Hui too. We got Morrow here, Murney there. And then we got the weekly Round Hill PLTW, and we got Platy here, and we got ETH. ETH is a weekly paying ETF too. So we got 3 weeklies here. No, 4. We got 4 weeklies in our cash account. That's ETH, OT, Platy with the W, and Hui from Round Hill. All right, so that's 4. So we increased from 2 and went to 4 weekly payers in our cash account, right? So we want to get this up as quickly as possible, but slow and steady wins the race. All right, now to our Divvy tracker. Our Divvy tracker, let's go to overall here. All right, it says that our annual dividend is progressing to where we will have $107,478. Says that our monthly pay should be around $8,900 a month. All right, so it's saying that our invested amount is at $233,812. Our margin is at 113,902. All right, and we're down $68,898 if I'm not mistaken. And most of you all know that that's 46 from Coney and 10K from Misty. So that puts it at 56. And then and there's another, what? If that's 56, then there's another 12K overall collectively from my other positions. All right. All right. So first month of September, these is what it doesn't give a total. Yes, it is estimating $8,900 right there. All right. So on Friday's closing, these were my gainers that close above a negative, and then these are the negatives that close below. All right. So if we want to see overall, Palantir is up 3,200, so 500 and 135, Yeet 40, and Kavana 7. And this is what my positions that I'm down in. As you can see, Coney leading the way, it estimated here at 48, Misty at 85, AMD at 31, OT at 25, SMCY at 19, and Platy at 14. All right, let's go to Snowball Analytics. All right, so as I stated, I cleaned up some things here. As you can see, for the life of me, I could not figure out the balance. All right, so we can see here, this has been updated, and this has been updated, reflecting more true value of my dividend positions. And got rid of some junk that had been lingering back for years. that I didn't quite dig into to see initially why it was there. So I cleaned that up. So it says our value is at $136,721, and our invested is $105,398. Says all deposits excluding all withdrawals from the brokerage account. We hit there. I thought it was, what was that? Right here. There we go. So it says holdings, and then there's cash balance. All right. All right. So it's saying our total profit is at $31,322.48. That's up 17.6%. For the day, we were down $2,300. We're down 1.7%. Our passive income, if I'm saying this right, is at 60.15% yield. I believe that's what we're saying. And here are our funds. So earlier when I finally went through and clicked on these, and I was like, man, what's this stuff? Because if you all can recall, this used to say profit and loss of about 91,000. I couldn't figure that out, but there was a lot of old junk that I had not cleaned up in this account. So I went through and cleaned it up to better reflect my dividend status. All right, sales. It says what's moving. Here it says, I thought that was giving some data, but they didn't. So let me get rid of that. All right, so here was showing our daily gains and daily losses with Snowball Analytics. Maybe it showed the month, but it isn't. All right, so our future payments. All right, so over the next 12 months, it's saying I should get about 99,000 and average about $8,200 a month. Here it shows dividends received. It's saying 66,329. Is that what we're showing over here? We're showing, okay, we're pretty close. Showing 65,837 according to our Excel sheet, and it is showing 66. So we're off a few $100 there, about 500, $400 to $500 off. All right, so maybe something just hasn't been recorded, but anyway, that's pretty good. All right, now you can see our comparison of dividends received for 2024 versus 2025. You can see there in March we had 2,200, and this is when we probably had the Charles Schwab account. But we started getting into the YieldMax right around here. I think we was testing it out. These blues here, we was testing it out, and then we made a move here in August, and in September we started getting paid out, and that's when I started the YouTube channel to journal my dividend progress, to chronicle it. All right, and then each month we start going up. I mean, last year we was getting it. It's 4,100 there. October 7,400. November came around, we hit 10K. So last year, looked like September picked up. I don't know if what at what time, but like we did pretty good in with $4,100 in September last year. And then October picked up, boom, 7,400, 10,000 in November. I'm like, oh man, I'm supposed to be making 20K in no time. December dropped off just a little bit with 92. And I said, oh man, 2025 is the blast. Didn't quite go that right. Things just changed. January happened, 6,300. February, 7,900. And then we dropped off in March to 54. And then in April, we had our lowest payout, 4,600. And then in May, we got 14,000. That was simply because Coney had two payouts in the month of May, and Coney was doing pretty decent, decent, okay, right there. June, we dropped back down to 69. July, we hit 10K. August, we did 10K, and we'll see what happens for September. See if it's close to anything like it was last year. All right, here's some positive news here. Macy's soars. Like that was just the last 22 minutes. Macy's soars 31%. Nearest new highs on sales beat higher outlook. All right. EU car maker close in on emission goals, but Mercedes lags. I don't know why that's got AT&T there. We got Guru here. Fundamentals report for SMCI. Peter Lynch says Supermicro has received a strong rating of 74%. PE growth, investor model indicating favorable valuation relative to earnings and growth. That was 5 hours ago. Got some more news with SoFi here. Guru reports. This was 7 hours ago. SoFi Technologies has received a top rating of 100% from quantitative investors. All right, so just some positive data there. All right. All right, so here, as you all are familiar, we got 58,371 in dividends with our Coney position. We've been 11,632 shares. $58,371. We had profit and loss of over almost $1,400, and we are down 46,000. But that still gives us a positive total profit of 13,670. Same thing here with Misty. We are down 10,000 in account, but we have profit and loss of over 1,600, and we received over 21,000 in dividends, giving us a positive 13,197. So as of right now, Coney and Misty are neck and neck in total profit. Coney's slightly edging out at 13,670, followed with Misty at 13,197. All right. But we have a lot more shares and a lot more invested in Coney. All right. So we got Platy here showing $3,300 in profit. We got AMD. I think we got this fixed now. It's showing $937 in profit. We got Ulti here showing $84.30 in profit. All right. Next, we got SMCY showing $753 in profit. Next, we got Tesla showing $600 in profit. Next, we got YBit showing $817 in profit. Next, we got ICOI, Bitwise. We're down $449 in total profit. We've only had that, a month or two. Next, we got YieldMax. YieldMax is showing total profit of $132. Next, we got AIYY showing a negative profit of $302. Next, we got Robinhood Hui showing $179 in profit. Next, we got Imara from Bitwise showing a negative $217 in total profit. Next, we got Maro showing negative $27 in profit. Next, we got Kavana showing $73 in profit. Next, we got XPay clearing that, saying we got $49 in profit. Yeeth, we're down $70 in profit. I missed, we're down $4 in profit. And this 22nd Century, we're down almost $1,000 in profit. SMCI, we're down $973 in total profit. Dogecoin, we're down $275 in total profit. Now I think some of these are or have the data or like a day behind. All right, Palantir, we're up $3,309 in total profit. So far, we're up $252 in total profit. Bull, we are down $624 in total profit. And Murny, we're down $1.37 in total profit. I know Murny has 8 shares. I'm not sure why that hasn't updated. So total profit shows total dividends at $99,336. We have realized profit of $950, and we're down $66,000. But that gives us a total profit of $33,412 overall. So we have a cost basis of $231,901. They say 233,000. All right. All right. Here shows my portfolio versus the S&P 500. I'm going all the way back to January. So this is year to date. How we progressed. I was outperforming them in July. My account value was at 171,000. The S&P was showing 146. I'm not sure where that 146 for the S&P is coming. I'm not sure what they're basing that on, but it says portfolio is behind the S&P by $12,561 since the beginning of the year, and right now they are outpacing me 136 to 149. All right, here it shows portfolio performance. You can see the chart. Orange is S&P. My portfolio is the blue. And here you can see the month by month chart of dynamics of portfolio returns. So this is returns. So you can see here the returns per month. So February, March were bad months for me. August was a bad month. And so far, September's gotten off to a bad month. All right, here's a heat map showing Coney. What does that says? That says holding performance. So what is that? 15K, 33. So that's showing. I know I'm up 3,300 in that. That's showing 15K there. So I guess it's showing 55 minus the capital gains plus total profit. Okay, so this is a heat map of everything. All right, let's get to the Q&A. All right, Mike Lesser says, congratulations on your 1 year mark with many more profitable years to come, my dude. You may already know, but there is COYY as a better substitute for Coney that could make you a lot more. I said, thank you, Mike, for the recognitions. Getting 3,000 subs in 1 year, I wouldn't have thought of that if you had asked me a year ago, but I guess people like something they see. He said, oh, he replied back. I didn't see this. Sorry, Mike. If you're watching this, I didn't see this reply. He says, anytime, my friend, no doubt your channel will blow up even more. Several sources of passive income is the future. The sooner people discover what the elites do, the better. Manual labor, for the most part, will be a thing of the past in a new age. Yes, yes, that is true, man. Automation, AI replacing a lot of jobs, and we saw how a lot of people are getting laid off. So, gotta have another source of income. Divvy Seth says 2 year congratulations. I said not 2 years yet. I've just completed my first year, but thank you, Sarah. Ghost Star says NC. At first, I was confused with NC, but he's saying nice channel here. I said, I got it now. Thank you, sir. All right. Next, we have Mike Lesser here again. He says, Hood and all dividend stocks related have popped off just like we said it would, brother. Shame Mister did not make it this time, but maybe in December. It will be in the S&P 500. I said, yep, Robinhood just joined the S&P 500 on Friday. She's pushing back, probably back up above $117. That's where it got not too long ago. When Chris Sain said it, when it was at 70 something dollars, Chris Sain said, hey, it's going to 100. And now look at where it's at. Um, Clinical says, Alti is making me nervous. Giving it a couple more weeks to see if it stabilizes or go up. He got two replies. Hernandez says, it will stabilize due to the nature of the investment. I said, I'm not an expert, but I would think if we get an interest rate cut on September the 17th, the market will rally, not financial advice. Kelly said, Yeet is ugly. I said, you think so? Maurice says, get that bread. I said, that bread is getting expensive. At the present time, I'm just in survival mode. My good friend Alan says, I'm glad Alti is still at 9 cents. I thought it might drop below to 0.88. Someone laughed. And I said, Alan, Alti has been doing all it can to still get us 9 cents each week. How long can that continue? I'm not sure. But hey, if the market starts to rally, we may have some upside push. Um, Dividend Seth says, granted share mindset. Granted share mindset. So I think last week he had round hill mindset. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Granted Share Mindset coming to you with our new year one, year two, week one. Yes, we're going to get it right here. All right, so we're going to be a chameleon. Last week was round hill. This week we're Granted Share. Next week will be, guess what? Bitwise mindset. All right. I found that funny. Kelly says, I'm trying to get out of Misty. I said, there is nothing wrong with rebalancing your portfolio if you feel that it's come to that. I'm going to hold on a little bit while longer until the bull run for crypto happens. And then if I need to reevaluate, then there's something we'll look at. All right, let's hit our shorts. All right, let's see here. Let's hit this one. See, that was sharp. That's a one. All right. Oh, I want to say something. If you happen to watch this video right now, last week video, I am sorry about that video. I did that video this time last week, and it took 2 days to process in my editing with the Loom. I don't know what in the world held it up, but when I was doing my video Tuesday, getting ready for Wednesday, and I checked, it was out there, and I let it go. I could not believe that video took that long to process. So it normally would have failed on the first as scheduled at 6 a.m. Y'all know for consistent year, I always drop the Robinhood portfolio reviews on Mondays at 6 a.m. All right. Victimizer says stocks are at an all-time high, by the way. I said, I think the stock market, like the Dow and the NASDAQ and S&P, are all-time high, but individual stocks, most of them are not at all-time high, in my opinion. Bitcoin Jose says probably owe some money on margin. Also, this was last week. Yeah, 7 days ago. So all that's last week. All right. I don't know how that's last week, but it is. All right. So any let's see, is there any comments here? Nope. All right, man. We almost out of here. All right. Let's see here. Did we post this? Nothing. All right. The Ortez says this is crazy. Where's the now? I said I guess he didn't ask at Gronk for the now figures. All right, let's see here. All right, R Triple A says beautiful quote. I said all the glory is God's. Let's go. All right. This individual said, looks like a good day to me. I said, I like your attitude. A penny saved is a penny earned. Benjamin Franklin. All right. That's it. Right. Boom. So once again, if you happen to be listening here, I was aiming to say this at the front of the video, forgot it. But sorry about last week's video. If you all were looking for it. But anyway, it was a holiday, so maybe I wasn't looking for it. All right, so if you like this video, like it. If you dislike this video, dislike it. Please leave some comments. I enjoy your comments. I'm not a financial advisor, but I give you my opinion based on my account and what I know. A lot of you are smart, so drop some comments. Help a brother out. All right, I'm out. This is YieldMaxMindset saying have a blessed day and let's prosper